Good afternoon, welcome to a very special live event here on Wales Online. Swalec ambassadors Ryan Jones and Robert Crofty are in the studio, ready to take your questions. We'll also be showing you a series of challenges the boys have been taking each other on over the last few days. There's a bit of mastermind in there, a bit of Sabutio as well. Good to see you both, chaps. This is from Andy Firth on Twitter. This is just for you, I think, this one, Ryan. He says, with 2 years to go until the World Cup, how do you think Wales are doing in preparation, and can we finally win it? I believe, he says.
Well, so do I, funnily enough. It's the key to it. I think we've certainly unearthed some wonderful individuals. You know, if not a team, if you like, of a generation. I've called it. We've got a wonderfully maturing pack, front five with some littered with world-class players, and we've got some wonderfully exciting backs who come very well. The challenge is to keep them all fit, you know, to make sure they're gelled, make sure they keep and maintain that form whilst developing others. And that's why fixtures like this autumn against the likes of South Africa are very important in that development. You know, this is when it really starts to. We're 2 years out now, and it's about, you hear terms bandied around all the time about momentum and all this sort of stuff, but they can be quite important. You can't predict the future, and we can't read it too much into what happens now because it's irrelevant in 2 years' time. But now's the opportunity to really lay some foundations, try and develop some depth. So when we really get in that lead into the World Cup, the competition for places is really high. Everyone's fit, healthy, on top of their game, and that'll give us the best possible opportunity then.
Is that a big focus for players of your sort of generation, sort of edging into your 30s now, Ryan? World Cup 2 years away. Have you all got that sort of on your mind? I know Adam Jones has it as a big target. Yeah,
as would I. You know, the World Cup was a wonderful experience. So go and represent your country on a world stage is you know, probably the greatest honour you can have. And I got such fond memories in New Zealand. Whether my body allows me and I can stay fit and stay selected and stay on form is a different matter. But they're all things you can control. And you know, I'd love to stay competitive and still add value. And if the opportunity arose to go to the World Cup, I'd certainly love to go, because it really was fantastic. Be away for that length of time with your mates and sort of backs against the wall. It's good stuff.
Yeah, great stuff. All right then, Crofty, one just for you now, technical one here. This one from Craig says, if you could change one rule in cricket, what would it be? We haven't got hours either.
I don't know. I don't know. It's a difficult one. I think it's the one thing that's frustrating a lot of people right now is that is the slow over rate. I think that's particularly the longer form of the game. I think, you know, a lot of people complain about cricket that it's too slow. And particularly then when bowlers and captains are making it even slower, I think that's not healthy for the game. So I would definitely say that make sure that there's strong penalties for sides that have slow over rates.
What about this one? This is from Helen Wynne, again for you both. What goes through your mind before a big game? Any pre-match rituals? Are you vomiting in the corner, or what do you like?
Depends how quick the bowlers are. No, I never got. I got nerves to a point. And I think it's handy to have nerves. I think what takes the nerves that get on top of you away is your preparation. I think if you prepare to the best of your ability and thoroughly, then the whole thing goes away. And yeah, when I was on the field, I didn't even notice crowds. You know, you just focus on the game. And I think if you understood when people turn out and say, "Oh, we'd love to see so many people there," you'd be our extra inspiration. Yes, it's great for people to come along, but largely isn't going to make me play any different. You know, it's up to me to play at that moment on that field. So I guess it's a lot to do with your character, with your personality. We love seeing full crowds, yes, but when you're on the field, I never really had those, you know, really bad nerves in that respect.
What amazes me with these guys is the duration with which they have to do it. We were talking about it earlier, just over a coffee. The fact, you know, how these guys stay focused or don't become overcome with nerves when a game can go on for days. I went down, fortunate enough to go down to the Swalec Stadium once and went in their team room, I suppose you call it, where you hang out between innings. And just think spending hours and hours in there with a pool table and a television and stuff. And
you can't get too manic, you see, because if, like you said, if it's a 4-day game, if you burn yourself out mentally, then you're stuffed. For you guys, you've got to be up there, haven't you? Yeah,
that's a big one for us. We talk about start building up for a test match or a game, a big match early on in the week. But the art is to not overthink, over worry, because you can burn up so much nervous energy. You know, you start losing sleep. You start thinking about it too much, if you like. So as you learn to switch it on if you like, sort of night before match day even. But like Robert says, you take away those nerves with your preparation. If you've got belief and faith that you've prepared well, you've left no stone unturned, if you like. You know, so your analysis is done. You know what the opposition are going to do. You know what your role within the team is. You know, you take confidence within that, and then it's just about going out and implementing it. You know, with regards to the crowd and stuff, you feel it and sense it rather than hear it, if you like. You know, you're on noise and you feel the emotion, or I certainly do. There'd be periods during a game from the anthems to just pre-kick-off where you feel it. You don't necessarily hear it, because essentially it's a patch of grass, isn't it? 100 by 60. It's the same as anyone in a park, you know, even as far west as you live. You know, it's all the same size. So it's not getting caught up in that. You know, you're there as a sportsman with a job to do, and it's about getting your role right within a team of 15. The
one time I've sort of really felt the crowd was when largely I've been defending rather than attacking. You know, because when you're defending, it's against you, and in sport you've got to be resilient. I mean, it doesn't always go your mind whether it's over 4 days or 90 minutes. It's got to. There are times where if you defend well, then the game becomes a hell of a lot easier, because you haven't given the opposition their chance to get on top of you. And I did experience that once in a test match, which was against South Africa, and where it was easy to give in, that was the time where probably the crowd didn't let you give in, where it was quite easy to take the soft option. Yeah. And the crowd literally, after every ball was bowled that you blocked and defended it, they celebrated it like it was you would smack the 6 or smack the 4, and that was probably the one instance.
One for you, Ryan, here, particularly pertinent. What would give you greater satisfaction? An Ospreys comeback to win the Heineken Cup this year, or Wales retaining their Six Nations title?
Oh, crikey. I think hand on my heart, I think I'd say an Ospreys win a Heineken Cup. It's something that I'm yet to achieve. Would just be magnificent for Welsh rugby with everything that's going on in the current climate. But like always, I'd quite happily settle for a retention. You know, some staff saying, but yeah, look, that's incredibly difficult, you know. But I'm an Osprey through and through. It's in my home, it's my club, and it's where I spend the majority of my time with a lot of. I've got a lot of good mates down there as well who won't experience international rugby, and for them to achieve something pretty special and share with them would be magnificent.
Indeed. Okay, one for you, Crofty, from David Jones, just sent this one in. Does Crofty think, like me, that Mark Wallace has done enough to captain Glamorgan in all forms of cricket going forward? What do you think? Yeah,
I think so far. A lot will depend as well on what the new coach feels, because in cricket particularly, the unity and the relationship between captain and coach is massive, because of the amount of decisions that you make on the field during a game of cricket. I mean, if you relate it, if you play a 50 over game, technically while you're on the field, he could make 300 different decisions. So, you know, that's the important side of it. And I think a lot will be done in the next couple of weeks when Toby comes on board and gets to the point of chatting with Mark.
What advice would you give to any youngsters starting out cricket and rugby? You go first, Crofty.
I think it's as much for the cricketer as it is for the parent. I think the parent needs to, you know, and not just take your child to a club that's half a mile down the road. You know, if it's good standard of cricket and it's a good coaching structure, then please do that. But don't just take the quick, easy option. Look in your area, look for the best structure, look for the best club, and then take your child there, because that will give you the best chance. And then, as far as skills are concerned, the coaches at that club will take it on. But if you take a child to a club that not necessarily as strong as maybe just around the corner or whatever, or just down the road, then you're not given the best chance. That's my advice. Source the best club and go to the best club.
Right.
Yeah, for me it's slightly different. I would say first and foremost it was enjoyment. You know, for a kid that's embarking on a sports career, whatever career it may be, they have to enjoy it. They day in, day out, spend that time away. And what is something I often say to youngsters is it's not always the biggest and best kid that'll make it. It's the one that wants it the most, the one who's going to listen to those coaches, go away and practice those skills, not take it for granted, and work damn hard. You never know who's watching. and no matter who you represent, you've got to give it 100%, because you know that could be your one and only opportunity.
Another cricket one for you, Crofty, from Mike Sweetman, who says, considering the way England finished in the last Ashes series, should we now be concerned for the forthcoming one, which isn't long away at all, a quick turnaround?
Yeah, I think we should be concerned, and because I don't think this is a particularly good Australian team, and that's no disrespect to them. I'm comparing them against the sides that they have put on the field over the years, and it was a win. A win was a win for England this time round. I think when they absorb what they did and really reflect on how they played, I don't think they played very well this summer, but it got across the line. And maybe that's a sign of how strong they are, because they won ugly. And the sign of a good team is when you're not on form that you can still win. So maybe that is. But I think back home, the Aussies, some of our batsmen out. The pitches in Australia are going to be quick. They're going to be bouncy. So the conditions, they particularly Jonathan Trott and people like that, they give them some chin music, and it became very tricky for them. So I'm sure they'll try and work on it. So I think it'll be close early on. If England can weather that initial Aussie onslaught, that burst, I'm sure they're going to get from playing at home and trying to rewrite the loss this summer, then I expect England to go on and win. Their big trump card is that if Graeme Swann can stay fit, they have a spinner that can be effective, whereas I don't think Australia do. So they have a clear match winner there and an edge there.
Yeah, it's just like in all sports. I think a smart and Aussie team is a dangerous one, really, and that's likewise for us come the autumn now. They were upset to lose Lions in the summer. They put in a good shift against New Zealand last weekend. Scoring 33 points is no mean feat. So they're going to come up here with a point to prove, especially with Wales having such a large contingent of that Lions. It'll be an opportunity for them to almost set the record straight. So it's going to be a tough encounter for us as well.
I think just to jump in there, one thing you notice about Australia, even if they've got a poor side, they're still competitive, aren't they? Always
competitive. I've said this over and over again. They'll fight. They find a way, which is a sign of great sports teams. There's no point losing pretty, is there?
No,
absolutely. All right, then let's move on to the next one. This one comes from Craig. For you, Ryan, he says, which teammate would you most and least like to be stuck on a desert island with? James Hook I'd most like to be stuck on an island with, a bag full of sweets and chocolate and biscuits, and be nothing short of entertaining anyway. But I don't think he'd be very edible though, would he? That'd be the problem, I suppose, with him. Least likely would probably be Adam Jones, I suppose, because if it was a small island, he'd take up most of it, wouldn't he? And what with his snoring as well, it'd be a difficult night's sleep. But on the flip side, it'd be a good meal there, wouldn't it? Well, if it came to that, I suppose it would do. All right, we'll move on from that one as well. Got your David Prince on Twitter saying, forget the questions, let's have an arm wrestle.
No, I don't want to hurt him.
Don't want to embarrass him.
We did that yesterday, we edited that one as well.
All right, fair enough. To you both, who would play you in a film about your career? Who would you like to?
Oh God, I'd love it to be Johnny Depp, but that ain't going to happen, is it?
I don't think you do justice, mate.
No, you're right there. No, he's got terrible hairstyle. I don't know. God. How do you answer that? Who would play me in a film? I'd perhaps Shane Warne, because at least I'd look like I'd spin the ball a bit more than I used to.
Oh, crikey. So to me now, is it? Obviously having been Wales' sixth man, Brad Pitt or something like that, I suppose, would it? Imagine,
2006, long time ago now.
He's over past his best, isn't he?
Yeah, all right, fair enough. Let's get back to the questions. Good one for you both here. Get your thinking caps on. Richard Davis just tweeted this. What's the best prank you've been involved in with your respective teams? Ryan seems like a practical joker.
No, the best practical joke I've heard of was during the 2007 World Cup, and Dwayne Peel, as he did, would have been tormenting Mark Jones, the now Scarlets coach, and teasing him and winding him up, and he got to the point where Mark, being a farmer, had enough, and in the field next door to the hotel was a herd of sheep. So Mark decided it was a good idea to go in there, get one of the sheep, and put it in his hotel room, which on Dwayne's return had decided to go to the toilet all over his room and eat his watch. So I think it was 1-0 Mark in the end.
I think so. Crofty, keep it clean.
It's quite similar, actually. we were playing in New Zealand, and Michael Atherton, who was captain of our team, had just dropped me from the side after the first test in Auckland. So we had a bit of a break, and we went down to Napier and we went out fishing. And Alan Mullally and I, we were in this boat and we caught this mako shark. And not particularly PC, I know comb that was et later on. But we took the shark back, and because I'd been dropped, I'd put it in Mike Atherton's bed. And I got this toothbrush that I put between the jaw and the top nose, because the toothbrush hadn't been used by Mike all trip. So we put it there, and when he pulled the sheets back, there was a shark waiting for him. So I didn't play again that trip.
Funny that. Oh, I like that. That's a very good one. Very good one. What about this one from Gethin? It's to Ryan, but I suppose you can have a go at this one as well, Crofty. Ryan, has there ever been a time when you've become overawed by an opposition player, and who?
No, I wouldn't say overawed. You pay them due respect, but I've been very fortunate enough to play against, I believe, some of the greatest players of a generation. When you take the field with a Richie McCaw, a Dan Carter, a Johnny Wilkinson, even our very own Shane Williams, people like that. These are guys who are going to be remembered and talked about for years and years to come. So, I'd say honoured rather than overawed, but you pay them due respect, and then you spend 80 minutes trying to pick them, cheat, so stop them doing what they're good at.
Scram and bite them.
Do whatever it takes. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Sadly, that's what I had to resort to.
Any players you come up against who you prepare differently for?
I think one of our things back when I was playing for England, particularly, was that you had to try and outdo your opposite number. And it wasn't that easy when you came up against Shane Warne and Mattia Muralithran every week, because they will, as you mentioned, they'll go down as the greats of the game. So overawed is not the word that you'd use because you're a professional sportsman. Frustrated, yes, massively, because envious, you want to kick them. But, you have to, at the time it's frustrating because, some people just are able to do it just a little bit better than you, and no matter what you do. But as long as you give of your best, you can look yourself in the mirror. And now when you look at it, you'll always be able to turn around and say, it was great playing against them, and the memories will be great.
Absolutely. Okay, well, that's just dropped onto it here from Peter Davis about junior development. I know you both do a lot of grassroots stuff with Swalek. He says, junior development, what's the current status of school cricket? And are there any new initiatives to promote the game? Well,
I know Cricket Wales are working very, very closely now with Glamorgan to come under that same umbrella. It's vital that the game is taken to junior schools, junior cricket clubs. Ideally, we want the school game to grow, but we are aware of the challenges that teachers have to teach cricket in school because it's a longer game, and also teachers doing after hours. Not everybody does it, so our major focus has largely got to be on the cricket clubs themselves, because firstly there's that huge interest towards the game. So I think that's where we've got to major. Ideally it would happen in cricket, but it just doesn't seem to happen so much. We've got to really hit home with club cricket, junior club cricket in Wales, to give them the best opportunity. And I know that Swalek do help so much with the grassroots cricket, with supporting of cricket nets, things that you can use to work on the ground to give those people the opportunity, and that's where we've got to focus.
Yeah, I think all sports are in the similar boat at the moment. The challenge we're all having is competition for the uptake of our sport. Kids have got access to so much more now than they ever had, certainly more than I had growing up. So we're trying to get kids younger and younger interested in our sports, supportive of companies like Swalek, of support staff, of coaches who give up, and teachers who give up their free time, and try and promote that game. Because I think once you get a child hooked on a sport, it's something like with Rob and I will live with you throughout your life then, and it's about promoting the next player, the next supporter, the next coach. It's all about getting and encapsulating all those in one go.
Another quick one before we have a look at our final challenge from Paul Anthony O'Shea, who said, if the Welsh rugby team played cricket, who would open the batting and who would be wicketkeeper?
Oh, crikey, good question.
You would fit in the pads first, right?
Maybe switch it around with players who would play prop and who would...
Oh, yeah. I might have a game there.
We have actually got some good cricketers. Jonathan Thomas was an excellent cricketer, who used to play for the Ospreys with us. But a lot of the guys are very sporty. Mike Phillips is a good cricketer as well.
Yeah, those boys,
Adam Jones is a good sportsman. There's a lot of guys there who would do a job. Who would be? I'd probably have Lee Halfpenny at wicket keeper. He's not going to drop a lot, is he?
He's not going to miss much, is he?
No, so yeah, he'd be my wicket keeper. And then opening the batting, crikey.
Could be slightly mad to do that, mate.
Yeah, slightly mad.
Who do you
well,
go?
I go with Mike Phillips. There's a mad cricketer.
All right, okay then.
Yeah.
Are they not going to chirp him?
Yeah, no.
What about you, Croc? I'd imagine you was a sort of nippy scrum half.
I was about 40 years ago. Do you know what's great about I think the way the Welsh sport has grown is that obviously the interaction Ryan and I with cricket and rugby, and we've always had that interest. The cricket lads over there always taking an interest on how the rugby boys are doing. Even to the point where you obviously have a bit of banter now between Ospreys, Scarlets, all that sort of stuff. And back in the day, they used to use the sway like this, and used to see the boys coming in. So I think that's really healthy for Welsh sport. We're watching how well the rugby teams do. Also, we've got those 2 football teams in Wales now that are in the Premiership, and it is important for the interaction that we are close like that. So.
Well, it certainly has a knock-on effect, doesn't it, from one sport to another, and even into the wider society as well. When whatever team it is, if it's a Welsh-based team who's doing well, then it is the talking point on a Monday morning, and it does have that uplift on everyone involved.
Well, the boys, when we were in Lords just the other day, there was a fair contingent of the Welsh rugby lads that came up. That's right, yeah. I know Rhys Priestland came up, Jamie Roberts, all the lads and a few other. They came up to support, and that, the word gets back to the players in the dressing room, and it does make a difference.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Let's have our final challenge then. Ryan leading 2-1 going into the final one. We got proper old school now. Rock, paper, scissors.
Takes me back.
School round game. Let's see if Crofty could bring it back.
One, two, three. Can't bluff. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Ooh. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. That's two. One more for it. Ooh. 1, 2, 3. Yeah!
You demolished him there, didn't you? Demolished him.
He tried chirping me, he did.
Misspent youth, that is.
Well, clearly, absolutely, clearly. We'll have to get you doing some different games as well if we get you in again. I know Conkers you were keen on.
Conkers as well, yeah, would be a good one.
Kaplunk.
Arm wrestling, I'm still promoting it.
Get practicing for the arm wrestling. There we go. Well, in our challenges then, I think that leaves us 2-2, doesn't it?
2-2. That's a good note to finish on, I think.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
No, we got a tiebreaker. There must be a winner. So this is a question. It's quite a long, convoluted one, so bear with me. And it's going to be a case of putting in your guess.
So the both of us?
Yep.
Okay.
Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay. Between the both of your international careers, what is the total figure of test matches played between you, plus the number of tries scored, wickets taken, and runs made? The closest figure wins. So it's
in test matches.
It's the test match caps. It's plus the figure for runs, tries.
Just in test cricket.
Wickets taken. Yeah.
Just in test cricket. Yeah.
Yeah, just in test.
Hang on.
Nearest wins.
So test match, wickets, right?
Yeah.
Test match wickets. Yeah. Test match caps.
Yeah, both of you. Yeah.
Yeah. Hang on, I'm counting that now.
How many runs you get? 10?
11?
I think we were hoping for sort of a swift stabbing like that.
Yeah. I'm going to go with 243.
I'm going more than that. If I get above that, do I? I win, don't I?
Yes.
So I go with 244.
Come on.
Well, winners and grinners, but I bet you it's about 500-600, isn't it?
It's 566.
Yeah.
I can give you the breakdown.
Thinking man scored how many runs, surely?
Thinking man, sportman.
According to my stats, he scored 421 runs.
Yeah,
that's what he was on.
420 through third man.
73 caps for Ryan, 2 tries.
2 tries, yeah.
2 tries, fantastic. 21 tests, 420 runs, 9 wickets for...
yeah, the wickets and the tests, so way off on the runs.
Yeah. So a victory for... I'll ask you again, what's the highlight of your career?
Well, it was obviously... this was candy from the baby, wasn't it?
Good stuff. Well, I think we're pretty much there, boys. You enjoyed yourselves? Enjoyed all the questions?
Yeah, it's been good. It's great to have some interaction and 2 sports as well. I think that makes a difference. You know, obviously we can have a bit of banter back and forth, but the good thing is, for everybody to see, is the unity between the sports in Wales. I think that's crucial.
And both of you have talked quite a lot about the importance of getting youngsters into all the different sports, and you said about the enjoyment, Ryan.
Yeah, the key for youngsters is to enjoy it, and it's a lifestyle choice, sport is, and whether you go on to become the next Lee Halfpenny in Sam Warburton or Robert Crofty is irrelevant really. It's just about getting kids out there, getting them enjoying our sports for the future, and you know, through wonderful, you know, companies like Swayleg, we're able to do that. It facilitates us getting out in the community, taking those sports to grassroots level and bringing on those youngsters. But it's great for, like you said, for Rob, just to have the opportunity to come in, have a bit of banter, have a bit of laugh, and you know, really get to interact with the fans.
What I like about, for the younger side of it, it helps keep you healthy. You know, that is one thing about sport. It does help you keep you healthy, because there are so many ways to sit on that settee, you know, and just use that remote control and not do anything energetic. It does keep you healthy.
Okay, great stuff, boys. Really enjoyed it. Thanks for all your questions. Remember, there's prizes at stake here. We've got Ryan and Crofty are now going to get their heads together, go through all the questions we've had over the last hour or so, and pick the best rugby, the best cricket question. Best rugby wins a pair of tickets to Wales, South Africa. That's not
South Africa, yeah. So that's
not a bad prize.
it'll be a good day out.
Absolutely. And then Glamorgan-wise, T20 season tickets as well.
Oh, that'd be cracking. Yeah. T20 is carnival time.
Indeed.
You haven't heard my question yet, so I'll win that one.
Right, great stuff. Just thanks once again for joining us. Remember, we've got the Wales rugby squad announcement coming very shortly here on Wales Online, so stick with us for that, and we'll see you again.
The winner of the cricket question is Mike Sweetman from Facebook. It was about the Ashes, so congratulations, Mike. You've won a signed cricket shirt from the Glamorgan final and a T20 season ticket.
Congratulations to Cardiff Craig, who is the winner of a signed Welsh rugby jersey and 2 tickets to Wales, South Africa, for his question about advice to grassroots rugby players.